Well, I see that some content creators, in fact, if they are creating contentment is another word, another, because they are going into more membership mode where I think it costs money to get your membership and then you can get their private exclusive videos, which of course they're doing a lot more research than I do, ever will, and they're trying too hard as far as I'm concerned. See what what we need to do and what see what they're doing is they're doing private monetization. They're making it more impossible for people to get the information without draining your bank account. And it's like, should be really doing it on donations and see the idea is to get enough organization to where you're not doing this alone and you don't have this. It's looking like that we have to segregate ourselves, even up to the very, like, can we have a one-on-one with somebody because are they equal financially, kind of a thing like that, right? Needs to stop. There has to be a social system that develops. I don't like to use these old words that talks about socialism and communism and stuff like that, but really, yeah, maybe those words were tossed out. We want to look back into some good language here, like the word communications. Communication has the word communion in it, and if we look up the word, what really communion means, and then see, because that's what we're looking at. We're looking at two types that are here. One of them is God, and the other one isn't. But what is that? See, if it's just a presence or a space that embraces and contains all, and so therefore can know all, because, right, it's containing it, and that's outer space for you. That's the final frontier. That's reality, and I'm sticking to it, baby. That's what we're having trouble with, is that part of the organism and or faction that is supposedly human, but no, these are non-human beings. They haven't opened up an account yet with reality. Pardon my hair. I know the last few videos I put up, which I'm probably not going to put them up. I'm going to put this one up on the 13th. It's the 13th now, and anyway, I'm feeling a little better because, well, you know how money gives us our false senses of security. Well, just a few breadcrumbs and I, I'm doing great. You mean I can do laundry now? Because I have really, I should know better than to spend any of my money because I have a tax. Did you hear that? Like, what do you mean a tax, John? Oh my God, are you okay? No, I have a tax. Everybody has a tax, right? No, this sounds terrible. You have a tax? What a tax? Oh God, never mind. So anyway, the sheep can hear what you're saying though, and I don't know why people can't see it. It's like, well, the axe isn't good either. Look at it. T, tree, chop. Okay, so we have, that means you're taking the truth down. Get out of here. This is not a fun game anymore. I want my mommy. Um, my nature is to be happy and creative and buoyant and to give a zap of energy to somebody that might be having a less inexhaustible time, I guess. But I am exhaustible, though. I'm see. It's only sparking me to survive a little bit more, and people that are doing that, you see, I get into a creative mode, and but we have to make a difference here, right? We have to make a difference to ourselves. We're in survival mode, right? We're in creative mode or survival mode. Which one is it? I say it's getting into creative mode. That's, I think, it's a big difference. Whether or not you're a non-human being or a human being, do you get in survival mode or creative mode? Think about it, right? Think with me, um, because I know I'm creative mode. You know, um, call me a woman, and we're like, "Ugh, God, another one bites the dust somehow or something, and then you have to just, what are we doing now? I'm hungry. I need some bread. Okay, how did we do it? I don't know, man. It's much more complicated than just kneading the dough. Kneading the dough. Well, you need to know more, that's for sure, just to get the dough. Oh boy, you see. And can we go as far to say as that doe is a deer, a female deer? Okay. We've already heard that, but see, I wanted to make this video about how that channels are starting to get more and more exclusive. They are informative, and they help us with our own thought process. You know, when it's somebody who's going to expose an insider from something. But you see, when it gets to be monetized and then private like that, that's taboo. You should be working towards freeing up humanity away from being siphoned away like that. If it was something that was really going to help, do you really need it to be like in a class like that? What class is it you're talking about? Oh, you're in an institution now. Only the people that have money can afford it. I say only the people that have money don't give a shit about the truth. Now, was it so? Then is it the truth? What is it that they are doing? Well, it could be just another babysitting service. You know, people want to be pacified. I find that some people are dropping off. You know, some people they need other people. Not one person is the final like scientist. They need there is 7 billion other inputs that they need to start confirming an algorithm that says, yep, this is the truth we're handling, and I can't corner the market on this. Why should we? If you knew how destructive it was to keep perception away from the simple truth and just an experiencing of it, like getting away from the experience of the mind and going to reality and then really working it up, you know, some truth here. Build something, handle something, hit it on the head and get that zing. There's other ways that are non-physical to hit truths, but you know, you got to start at the base level and figure you have a body here, and people aren't it, right? You can look at them and think, what do what do you think you are? As people, really, you know, I have yet to get into that conversation to prove to you how that they don't exist. It's already known. There's a pattern that they tell you that to try and look at it, and if it's just the mind itself that you accumulate memory about even yourself and other people, that's kind of difficult because your mind is not adequate in remembering now. You can't remember now. I can prove it to you. See, you didn't know that was going to happen. Boy, you just don't know. There's where I know, you know, just my presence. If you met me in real life, you know, see, it happens with some, unfortunately, men. You know, they think that they're just going to be whatever that they think they are, like more real than now, baby, and they're not. And it's like, I don't know. I'm just kind of a natural. Just me alone. It doesn't take much. I'm not trying to do anything, but see, I don't pull masks off and say, man, boy, you're wearing a mask. You want me to believe that you're more real than now. That's, whew, you can't, you're lucky that you have come across somebody whom you could never convince me of your mind. And you're never going to convince me of my mind. See what, but that's, you'd think that that was a great thing, and it is. It's absolutely like your emancipation is at hand. I don't listen to a single thing that you're trying to decorate of you about yourself, other than the fact that we can only be now. And I'm like, God, can we get through this? Because this is precious that we're going through this temporary moment that you mean you're going to spend it with a dialogue that's going to try to describe yourself when I'm just ready to experience you, and now I'm experiencing something that is non-self-reflecting, going to tell me a bit of shit, not based in the fact that um, that you have an obligation to be a presence here to reality and the truth, in case I was the truth, and I know God darn well that I am. Boy, I stopped my cuss word and everything. It's almost like somebody fed my cuss jar. I have a cuss jar if you're interested in having a movie that you can watch without me cussing, which I don't know if you know of a good movie out there. You go to them. If they're rated R and they have a good storyline and you really want something juicy, they're saying fuck and shit and bitch there, and none of them are speaking calmly. You can't like sleep to their voice or anything because it's like, well, you always hear an explosion, and aren't they always yelling at each other? The last time I checked, even commercials are just, they're yelling at you. Anyway, people are interesting. I wanted to talk about this. What am I talking about? Oh, that's when you know that it's just, they went down. See, what I'm presenting to us, and I'm going to keep doing it until my last breath, as long as it keeps like sticking out like, oh my God, and here it is again. See, and I keep downloading why, when, and where is it necessary to use the decoding system to be applied to the English alphabet, which is an interspacing system sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space. The creator. We have a creator up there, if you're interested. Um, it's similar to outer space itself. It's kind of weird because outer space isn't empty. No, it's packed with tiny wormholes. It's a plasmatic field for one. Your heart is interacting. It's like, I can hear somebody thinking, sure, that's true. No, that's taboo. No, this is the real world we live in. No, I have to hook up electrodes. Where do you think the electrodes came from? Synthetic equipment that is now imitating your very technology, which is purely human. In fact, it takes no time or space for one of your... No, it's not a thought. See, there's a difference between blocking your brains with thought, and then you become a meditator, and now you're receiving. But I bet you anything, you can start entering into the field, right? And you can start communicating. And yeah, and you can be preparing a whole other world in another galaxy somewhere else with just your ability to say, you know what? I think it's completely different because I have the ability to use my imagination in a healthy way, which is, I'm telling you, this here place is a school that you have to open up an account with reality, outer space, and start handling the truth. And then because that is going to get you a pass into more and more knowing how it really is, as what I was going to say, as a gardener. There's many, many, many fields of information that um, you can look into. That's already here. See, there are warriors that stand centered in those gardens. They could be, oh boy, they're certainly not found in mainstream. Like, see, because I was going to say they could be making a pizza, but it's like, oh God. But they could be making cheese, and it's like, oh no. Because they could be what? They could be serving water to people. Oh boy. By the way, pardon me. Did you have to pour the fluoride and the sulfuric acid off the coal mining fluid inside of the public water supply? I was just trying to find out what really the point was. I mean, with water, to me, it's to make it its best, and so that when you drink it, it's like, intelligence is here, and I have to go nowhere. But do you think that they want us running around a lot? The answer is yes. And a lot of people don't know what to do without it. They're like, you're just not busy enough. It's like, no, actually, you're too fucking busy, and we're really tired of it. We are seeing resources going out the back end because you don't even know that that's the mind you're trying to pacify just by staying busy. The mind isn't capable of having a very good relationship. Bottom line, you want to talk about narcissists? Yeah, we don't like them because they haven't even acknowledged that there's an outer space, like that there's just one reality behind all realities. Let's say it again. There's just one mind behind all minds. Let's say it again. There's only one sky. Let's say it again. There's only one God. This is the truth. And so when we hear it, and we hear people trying to say, oh, freedom of any religion, I say, you know what? Enough of giving these people the freedom to shit all over everything. You should have freedom to know reality, and that's the only freedom you're talking about. See, if you have freedom to be a mind, then we should be free to quarantine you off and treat you a certain way because you're one way, and then see, there's only two ways to be here, and you cannot really mix them up. Not really. You have either learned to feed reality to the mind and become intelligent that way, which is true intelligence, by the way, which isn't the mind, it's reality. You're having an experience, and it's kind of tough because you have to pay attention. You have to have the kind of mind that remembers things that are useful, that actually see you have to pay attention to. Now you're going to go to a feeling, and it's what worked. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have people going, yay, nay, hitting you on the wrist or giving you a reward. No, it's coming from the inside. It's a trip. It might take you 45 years to finally figure out, oh, this is actually happening. When my heart, when I know that I'm getting a real download that is the truth, first of all, you're instantly healed. You feel buoyant, and it's like less weight, and then it carries you. And then um, it gives you strength, instant healing, restoration. You wonder, why aren't I tired after all? See, when you start getting downloads and stuff, babes, when you start getting real information that say God has noticed that you are available to him, her, whatever it is. It's not really a him or a her, babes. It's just, I was talking about this amazing creational device that we're in called reality. It's like this, if you want, you can call it a screen, outer space, the now. I can see, we don't really know, we're not conscious about it, but I've done some things, I don't want to talk about it here, but you can project yourself into the field and wiggle something. And I was about to say earlier how it takes no time because it requires no space to do this, because there is no, I love to contradict myself too. There is no space, like per se, is what you think is everything's out there, because if you're one with this mind that is the mind of God, then all that exists is embraced and contained in that one mind, which is outer space. And then when you become that mind, it's all inside the mind, right? So you do have a confusion of that coming up. You'll hear it, and they jump right to it, and it's like, but do you know that there's two minds here? That when you start talking about it, how powerful the mind is when you start thinking, it's like, no, how powerful it is when you surrender your mind to the higher mind and you start receiving. And there's where you have the healthy imagination, which I keep talking about. And it's important to keep talking about this because, well, in case you're interested in your human relations, you wonder when you're going to have fun. Well, I think that you're supposed to have fun going like this a lot. You kind of, you're on to the truth. You're looking at your neighbor and it's like sun, moon, stars, earth, fire, water, ether. Nice cornfield because we knew what to do here. There's waterway, and we need to eat, and farming. I would love to show you what's in the word farming. You want to know really what's in the word farming. Um, Very important to know, just you're free to capitalize any time. This is to keep um, your lives in order. You want what's yours and also see the capitalization. Now, how do we do it? With money, right? There's money there for some reason, but it's not yours until you can keep it in the family. And now there's only two types here. And this gets really farming. I'll just well, I can put the I up just to keep it a bird in the word. It's a big bird in the word, but when you put the F there, does it throw us off? I doubt it. It's arming, babe. You're arming yourself. That's all. You want good armory. See, take the F away. There you go. Arming. Arm yourself. Don't let anybody else do it. You can, fine. You'll be surprised. People will get bored enough. I'm telling you, there's probably so many people down there. If you gave them a chance to farm, like work the land, that they're having to walk past to go to the market to get some broccoli and shit for fucking a lot of money. They're very out of shape. They're having to walk. They're walking past fields that are empty. I bet you anything. See, this is my idea. When I do, and if and when we take our money back, see, we don't take it individually like these content creators who are you content enough now? Everybody isolating yourselves and saying, "Come here to my closet and give me money. I become a member," and it's like, babes, stop it. There's two types to be found here. I'm sorry, I'm getting impatient because I can see it. It's obvious. It's sticking out. And I'm just a human being here. It's really hard, really, I would rather say I'm just a bird. I'm a bird who's picking up the right word and the message. Really, I'm picking up a message in a very, very raw kind of EMF. Like it's here. What are you gonna do? Well, I'm gonna start chirping. I'm continuing to chirp, and um, I know it seems mad and me and mad and weird, but no. True intelligence can see some things like this, and it's important that we stay as buoyant as water can when it starts to move and it starts to imagine and stuff like that. See, this is where it's a delicacy that it's the only way that we get our own bank, so that your bill can be paid, your communication bill at least, and it's not like an individual that works for it. No, it's a whole organism that has a realization that they deserve their own rights, their needs to their constitution. See, it's hard to talk about the what does constitution mean? Really hard to figure out what does that mean? What constitutes you? See, talk about it. Okay, so it means, well, there's the word constituents. It kind of comes from that. But what are we talking about? They do talk about it. They say, we need this, we have a right to these things that we need that will keep us strong. Well, do you think that there's two types here? And one of them gains their strength, which is very superficial, right? The power tripper, the one that's just the mind that says, yep, I got it right, with the rest of the strength in numbers who says 2 plus 2 is 5. 2 plus 2 is 5. Boy, this is really easy, isn't it? Isn't Satanism, satanic cults, got it down pat? Anywhere in the universe you are, Satan can show up and just say, nope. That's it. That's all. It's easy peasy. Just sit there and live in denial and say, no. Because the universe only knows yes, baby. We're not in a mystery. Our eyes aren't failing us. But when we ask just for a celebration, and really we already know the answer, it's just a question, do you see it too? And you say, nope. Good for you. Wow, easy peasy, but you stick out like a sore thumb. I We don't see you really getting around much, do we? Or do we? See, that's what we're talking about. You now, who are we? We're on Earth right here. We're on a plane where it's like, you know what? I detect a lot of entities here that are stuck, right? How do they get stuck here? Well, something is stuck saying, I want company, right? Did you find your company? See, those people that are want membership over there, they might be the company, right? They're saying, here, drink our water. Isn't this great? Well, I think it's great if you know how to do water. And it's not yours. Water is here for everybody. What do you think needs to happen, folks? I say, and this is really fucking heavy duty shit, but I'm weeding them out right now. At 11:11 a.m., I can't believe it's only 11:11 a.m. on 11/13/2024, because I have been through such the time frames. It seems I've been through such the something going on. I'm pretty sure